Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also, follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful gentleman who grew up in Atlanta, now living in Los Angeles. He's heading up a group which has really been making it big in Los Angeles, just getting a lot of attention and airplay. And they have an album which they released in 2012 with great fanfare, American Refugee, and they've got a new EP out. We'll talk about that, and a couple of singles which got all the hits on all the streaming media. We'll play one of the new songs from the new EP coming up. I mean, just an amazing story. This group is going to really blow you away in the future, and just getting a lot of American FM radio airplay in the American Southeast and a lot more. They recently signed with Spectrum Music Group. And live, ladies and gentlemen, live from beautiful, sunny L.A., Gene Owens of Faithless Town. Gene, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon, Mike. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. So you're with the group Faithless Town. You got started in Atlanta, and you're now based in Los Angeles, and you have an amazing EP debut called American Refugee, which came out in 2012. You have a brand new EP called Empires as well, too, and a couple of songs which gotten some airplay from the debut one, Ghost of My Hometown, City of Ghosts. We'll be playing one of your EPs, your singles from the new EP coming up, and you just have an amazing story. And first off, before getting into all that, tell us how you got started.
Oh, okay. How I got started in music, I actually started as a solo artist, and I put out a couple albums under just my name, Gene Owens, and I actually grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so that's kind of where it started. And then I came out to Los Angeles. I went to a music school out here, and then by kind of just odd circumstance and chance, I ended up in Atlanta. And in Atlanta is where I put together the band Faithless Town, which is still going now to this day. And we're happy to announce, we just put out our new album, Empires, on February 21st. It's out on Spectre Records, and that's an LP. It's a full length. We got 11 tracks on that one.
Oh, you got it. Nice. Very nice. Okay, and also you can continue telling us about how you got started, and of course, you starting career-wise in music.
And me starting off what?
In career-wise in music, it's like how you got started. Your roots in Pittsburgh, then going to Atlanta, like basically your musical journey.
Yeah, so grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and definitely, I think growing up in Pittsburgh and that blue collar. Pittsburgh's changed a lot, but when I was growing up there, there's still all the remnants of the steel industry there, and it was still a very blue collar city. That and I think the nature of that shaped and influenced some of my music. Also, I think growing up there gave me an appreciation and a love of Bruce Springsteen, who's a big inspiration and influence on a lot of my work. So went from Pittsburgh out to LA when I was very young, like right out of high school, went to a music school in Los Angeles, started writing and recording my first album, which was entitled Beautifully Strange. Shortly thereafter, that album got in the hands of Mel Brooks' son, Ed Brooks, who was a music manager.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which was very cool. He kind of looked like Mel, but he still had some hair. Very
merchandising. Get some merchandising. Get this merchandising here.
Exactly. So Ed loved my songwriting. He loved the music on that first disc, and so he managed me for a couple of years. I put out another album while I was out in LA, and then just by I kind of went through the equivalent of a divorce. It was a very difficult breakup, and I needed to leave Los Angeles, and I just needed a change of venue. So I packed up my car with whatever would fit in it, and I put my dog in the passenger seat, and I just made my way east. And I didn't know exactly where I was going, but I knew I wanted to leave LA. And I stopped in Atlanta to visit a friend of mine that I had worked with, and it was going to be just for a weekend stay. And that weekend trip ended up being a decade in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah. And during that time, I met my bandmates who I formed Faithless Town with, and we've now made 2 LPs and 1 EP, 2 EPs and 2 LPs actually at this point. Mm-hmm. They've become like family to me, and I'm actually getting married in a few months.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. My drummer and guitar player in that band will be my best man and one of my groomsmen.
Nice, very nice. That is just amazing. And just something that popped up. How'd you come up with the name Faithless Town?
So on our first record, we had a song called Faithless Town, but at the time we were called, the name of the band was the Easy Hearts. Uh-huh. Which I thought was a cool name, it was just like kind of reminiscent of like the Heartbreakers. But it turned out there was a band in Denmark or somewhere in the Netherlands that had that name already, and they already had a website. So we were like, what do we call the band? And so Faithless Town, it was like the first track on this album we were making, and it kind of became like it became the name of the band. So it was like Bad Company, where we had the song name and the band name.
Uh-huh. That was just a fantastic story. And of course, besides Bruce Springsteen being one of your influences, who are some of your favorite artists and other singers and musicians growing up?
Growing up, I have to say the Doors were the first band that really turned me on to music that wasn't just the flavor of the week pop music when I was a kid. Uh-huh. Before finding the Doors, it was all whatever, it was probably MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice, not to date myself, but it was like that caliber of music and pop music that I heard, and nothing really grabbed me. But until I heard the Doors, somebody gave me a copy of their first album, and it was just the weirdest, most unique thing I'd ever heard, and it just it set me. I think hearing that record set me on the musical path that I'm still on.
Wow. And of course, Jim Morrison, to this day, we don't know if it's true on the internet, still runs a donut shop as an assistant manager somewhere in Michigan. So
I thought he was in Africa, but yeah, who knows? Yeah, he's probably there. He's there, he's probably Tupac works the shift. Kurt Cobain comes by once in a while. And, of course, Elvis is, one of their regulars.
Yeah, and, of course, at one point he was an assistant manager for a donut shop, probably with peanut butter and banana, of all things. So...
Deep fried, yeah.
There you go, yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and play a couple of their works as well, too. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also, follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Gene Owens from Faithless Town. He was born and raised in Pittsburgh, headed down to Atlanta, now in Los Angeles with his group Faithless Town, and he's got a new LP out called Empires. But first, we're going to play one of his debut releases from American Refugee in 2012. Here's one of his first, Ghosts of My Hometown, right here on the Mike Wagner Show with Faithless Town.
They won't
Ghost of My Hometown from Faithless Town with Gene Owens here on the Mike Wagner Show. And tell us a little bit more about that song and what inspired you to write it.
I would say Ghost of My Hometown is probably one of my proudest moments as a songwriter, just because it is it's a very personal, just honest kind of retelling of the imagery and the things that really shaped me growing up in Pittsburgh. And conceptually, I think it's about the concept that you can move, you can leave the place that you were born, and you could be miles and miles away from like your first loves and your first friends from adolescence, and all those memories that shaped you to become the person that you are. You can leave, the distance can be between you, but those things never leave you. You know, they're always within you or inside you, and maybe sometimes the positive things and the negative things are kind of haunting you. Mm-hmm. And so that's the concept of it. And yeah, I think, you know, my dad actually did work in the steel mills of Pittsburgh. So there's the lyrics allude to that, and or just say that outright. And I think it's a very confessional song.
That is amazing too. And of course, watching the video, of course, driving a Cadillac and whatever else, just maybe think of the old videos, movies where you have like a huge caddy from the 80s that's driving. It's just kind of hits home in a way in a blue collar town.
Yeah, you know, the Cadillac, I was not even expecting. So we shot the band. We shot our performance in Atlanta at this place called the Goat Farm, which is an actual urban goat farm.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, they do everything there. I think they shot like a bulk of the Hunger Games trilogy at the Goat Farm. But there's like, it's an art gallery, and there's a coffee shop there, and then there's people raising goats and making goat milk. So we shot our stuff in one of these old, like, abandoned buildings at the Goat Farm. And then I went up to Pittsburgh and I found this videographer, Mike Cronenberg, to shoot like a bunch of B-roll of the city to kind of, you know, capture the vibe of Pittsburgh and get, like, you know, the point where the three rivers meet, which I reference in the first line, right? Mm-hmm. The Ohio, Monongahela, and Allegheny. And so Mike, that was his personal car. So he ended up shooting a bunch of other stuff after I flew back to Atlanta. And when he sent me the edit of the video, I wasn't expecting the caddy at all. And then when I saw it, I was like, this is perfect. It's amazing.
It makes you want to drive one, I'll tell you that, especially from the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, beautiful car. Looks great.
Oh, it's wonderful. I have to say that. Also, another single out called City of Ghosts, and tell us all about that one.
So, City of Ghosts, it's like I write a lot of songs with ghosts in the title, huh?
Oh, really? Yeah. I was kind of interested. What's with the ghost theme? But let's talk about the song first, then let's talk about your thing with ghosts.
Sounds good. So, City of Ghosts, I put out a couple years ago, and it was, it was a time where we're still kind of in this time, and I don't want to get too political, but it's just there was just a lot of fervor about what it means to be American or non-American, and I saw certain people just it seemed like their stories were kind of being marginalized, and everyone was like taking a stance, but I thought nothing had really was making it personal. And I read this article in the LA Weekly, which is our like free publication out here in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And there was an article about a gentleman who had been brought to America from Mexico when he was very young. Like, you know, he was like 2 or 3, so he had no say in the matter. And his parents brought him here illegally, and then he spent his whole life here undocumented, and built this whole life. You know, he is in his 30s. He has a daughter. He has a wife, and he goes to show up for work one day, and he ends up getting deported.
Wow!
the immigration is there waiting for him. And regardless of what your view, anyone's views on that stuff is, and I don't really want to get into that, but I thought the story was heartbreaking because this guy was ripped from everything that he knew and what has been his home and his family. Like he had more of a connection to America than to Mexico, which was his illegal, whatever, birth home. Mm-hmm. Or nation of origin. He had a much more connection to America, and then he finds himself just like on the other side of the wall, and just kind of in this city where Tijuana became a place where a lot of people that were being deported just end up, and it's kind of like this limbo where they are not really sure if they can get back to the States. They don't really have any family or close family in Mexico, so they are all just kind of here in this this weird limboous state in this border town. And I just found that story really interesting. So I tried to do it justice by writing that song.
It sounds like an all too familiar tale, being a stranger in a strange land or a stranger in your hometown. You hear a lot about that. And of course, you're right. We're not going to get into it. And of course, we'll talk about your new EP or your new LP, Empires, with your song, California Come Home. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Gene Owens from Faithless Town. He was born and raised in Pittsburgh, moved to Atlanta, and now in Los Angeles. He's got a new LP called Empires, which will be coming out through Spectre Records to be released very soon. Right now, here's one of his singles out called California Come Home. Right here, Faithless Town with Gene Owens on The Mike Wagner Show.
Still, there's the one.
California Come Home from Faithless Town with Gene Owens here on the Mike Wagner Show. And tell us more about that song as well, too. And, I guess, again, that California Dream as well, too. Tell us more about that song. What influenced you to write it?
I love California, and that's what brought me, my love of it is what's brought me back to LA after being gone for a while. There's the beautiful weather, there's this amazing history of music and entertainment, right? There's so much to love about it. And also I love that, like, I think it's inspired somewhat by the kind of 60s and 70s, like Laurel Canyon sounds, the Jackson Browne and Birds, and that kind of vibe, like the Echoes in the Canyon vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big part of it. How I wrote it, I think I actually was in a bookstore and some song was playing. I don't know what it was. And I kept hearing the lyrics of what became the chorus, but they weren't the lyrics. It's like, sometimes you mishear something. Like you mishear a lyric and you think the person's singing different words than they actually are. But I kind of kept hearing, I thought it was saying, the crossings of the road and some of these words that weren't actually in that song that I was hearing, but somehow that's how I was interpreting it. And I went home and started working on putting the lyrics that I misheard to music, and it slowly became that song, California Come Home. And then I ended up shooting a music video with my beautiful fiance, which kind of plays as like a little love letter to her and to like a snapshot of us together in California, which is up on YouTube and on the interwebs.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing. I mean, just a great song out there that's off the new LP Empires, and it was released February 21st on Spectre Records as well, too. And, of course, speaking of 2020, what are some of your other plans coming up for later in 2020?
Well, Mike, we're playing a homecoming show on March 28th, so later this month, at one of my favorite venues, the Earl in East Atlanta. So I'm super stoked about that. We're going to be playing with a band called Please Please and another band called the Stoplight Roses, and that proves to be a really, really fun show. So that's next up on the horizon.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, do you have any other plans for upcoming tour in 2020 besides your homecoming?
We hope so. Yeah, we're working that out right now with the label, and we're hoping to at least do a brief short tour, if not something more extensive, later this year, where hopefully we'll get to hit up a lot of the country. That's the plan, and get out and play this record that we're really proud of, and there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this one.
That is amazing. We're here with Gene Owens from Faithless Town here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a couple more things right here. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Gene?
Biggest influence in my career, it's probably... I don't know. I've just I like rebels and people that just kind of strike out their own path, whether in any art medium. People that don't wait for things to happen to them; they go out and make things happen for them. Mm-hmm. And so, there's examples of that in almost every medium. But whether it's Kevin Smith making Clerks by maxing out his credit cards and taking out a loan, and then becoming a popular filmmaker but first just having faith in his own vision and going out and doing it. To Ani DeFranco, there are all countless kind of indie musicians that have done that. And Faithless Town, this is our first label release with Empires that came out a couple weeks ago. But before that, like I said, we already put out 2 EPs and another LP, and we've done that all do it DIY. So
That sounds fantastic. Looking forward to all that. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Best advice I can give to anybody is just stay positive and keep your eye on the prize. Keep working towards your goals, and don't let anybody tell you, you can't do it. Just follow your heart, follow your conviction.
Mm-hmm. And that's the best advice you can give as well, too. Once again, Gene Owens from Faithless Town here on the Mike Wagner Show. Gene, just want to give a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to hearing again soon. And before we go, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Well, it has been a pleasure. And like I said, our next show is going to be on the 28th of this month. That's March 28th at the Earl in Atlanta. So tickets for that are available now through if you just go look up the Earl's website. Our website is faithlesstown.com. Our Instagram and Twitter handles are just at Faithless Town, so at Faithless Town. And you can purchase our CD everywhere that fine music is sold online, whether that's Amazon or iTunes, and then you can stream it everywhere. So Google Play, Spotify, Apple Music. I like Apple Music. I think if you're going to stream, I think it sounds better, but to each their own. It's out there. It's everywhere.
That sounds very like a plan, too. Gene, just want to say a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Look forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor. Keep us up to date. We'd love to have back on sometime in 2020. And keep us up to date. We'd love to have you back on.
I'd love to come back, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.